Sure.
In terms of thinking about maybe being in with family members, being in their class of stock, and, thinking about it that way. So you get a lot of different outcomes. And so those are the main ones I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay. And let's, if you want to go ahead and send me any notes or anything so we make sure we have all the details factually correct.
Yeah, no, I'll get that. That definitely. Okay. I'm sort of a stream of consciousness off the top of my head stuff. And I apologize for that. I was in Europe last week. I had planned to study up a little bit more. But the good news is I'm one of the guys that doesn't throw this stuff out.
There you go.
So I like keeping the physical files because you can lose track of these guys.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
They are happy to lose track of you because they don't want you to have to pay out. So I've tended to keep my files, and it's really those are the things. And I have to tell you, Tweedy is, when I came, it was a smaller shop. The guys were younger. The work they do here today is much more thorough, in-depth, still price disciplined, and we did, some people might ask, well, why did you go overseas with your investments? And it really was a natural extension of what we did. I've always felt that about when we were doing the international, the Global Value Fund. It's because we were applying the same valuation criteria, same framework, thinking about it the same way. And knowing these guys, as long as I know it, I could see how, even though it worked out with our Texaco bonds when Elliott came on, they just didn't have the temperament to be in things that had a lot of leverage.
Right.
And the high yield area, even though at that time it was a lot less competitive and it was newer, and their instincts were right. Their instincts were right to go in that area. Their temperament didn't allow them to do much there.
Okay. Frank, this is all fantastic. Thanks. I'm taking quite a bit of your time today. So.
Well, I'm delighted that you even want to talk to me.
Oh. After the first meeting, I told Bob, I said, Frank, I got to talk to Frank. He's got to have some good stuff.
Yeah, well, I just hope my memory is going to be okay for you. I'll get you some statistics on all that. I do have, I have pulled out of the trash cans. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder, but I am a saver. And I remember one day when we were moving out of 52 Vanderbilt, Chris Brown throwing stuff out, having these big bins because, we're going to use this stuff. But I was in there pulling it out and saving it. And so I do have a scrapbook with some memories of some of these pictures and stuff. And,
oh, cool.
And I'm glad I have it. And, so maybe that'll be useful, but maybe it won't. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning on coming back up.
Maybe I could see where it could be part of an insert to this. And the other thing I want to pass along, which I'm pretty proud of, at least in terms of, like I say, I was most disappointed that I didn't get a picture of all the partners at Tweedy, and I knew it. But I'm also very pleased that at Ben Graham's 100th birthday, which was held at the New York Society of Security Analysts, there was a book written about Ben Graham, and in there was a picture of the first Buffett meeting, and every 2 years, this group would meet and they would talk about stocks, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have one of the first. It might be even the first one. It has Walter Schluss in there. It has the guy from First Manhattan in there. It has Charlie Munger and Tom and Ed Anderson, and all these guys that really were pretty in their time, they were very capable and, wealthy guys. And so, I remember getting the back of the line at the CFA thing where they was having this thing, and everybody else was having their book autographed in the front or in the back. And I got up to Buffett and I flipped to the page with this picture of all these people.
Oh, wow.
And he signed it and he said, if you get all those signatures, that'll be worth a lot someday. And I couldn't track down one or two people. I'm not sure whatever happened to them, but I got almost all of them.
Oh, cool.
So I feel pretty good about that. And maybe something that if somebody wants to use it in the book, that'd be great, but maybe not. I'm not sure how Bob wants to handle that.
Yeah.
But
I'll be back up.
Pretty good.
I should get back up to Stanford this fall, and we can all sit down and go through that stuff and see what